At least.
A little bit louder.
At least. Okay. Hi, I'm Laura.
Hi. I fucked that one too.
Hi, I'm Laura.
And I'm Beau. And we're The Naked Narrative.
Making the uncomfortable comfortable.
And today we'll be talking about gender roles. Gender roles.
We are quite an interesting couple to have on the couch talking about gender roles. Are we not?
Are we not?
My personal background is that I was in a traditional marriage with traditional gender roles, and then for the last 10 years have been a solo parent. So I am both mum and dad in my household.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you, it's quite different again.
Yeah, because I don't have a stereotypes for a reason. So yes, I'm a lesbian. I'm actually like if someone drew a lesbian from memory. Like, am I not? I'm okay with it. And I have very traditional gender roles in a very non-traditional relationship because I've got a wife as well as blended family because we've got the 2 step kids who we've had ourselves. So...
Well, you have 2 stepkids.
Oh, yeah.
Not we have.
No.
Yeah. Because they belong to...
They belong to...
Yeah, well, they belong to both of you.
Yes.
However.
I went and bought the wife and 2 kids package. I went to the local church, found the wife and 2 kids package.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And got my own one of those when I was very, very young. So we have really traditional gender roles, I guess. But is it gender role?
I'd like to know, who's the boss?
I'm the boss.
And does your wife know that?
Yes, she does. Yeah. So I'm very traditionally masculine in the way I think, in the way and what I want from a relationship. And I was saying before, my biological brain patterns are masculine. I come at things a lot like that. And I dated someone, she said to me in an argument, she goes, "You just want a 1950s housewife, don't you?" And I went, "So what?" And then I went, "Oh, maybe I do." I was like, ooh. And then I went through the whole thing like, you can't. Like, you're not supposed to want that. Like, that's not being a feminist. And that's not making sure that women are being respected, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, Christy wanted to be at home with the kids and to make dinner and to do that. And I wanted to go to work and grow a career and do all of those things. So it's very, very important. And I think that this goes for everybody who is in a, masculine, feminine relationship, regardless of the genitals. Like, it's my job to make sure that I respect that. I respect it. When I used to come home from work, it's all different now. Like when I used to come home from work and Christy would make sure I have dinner and stuff and look after things for me and that sort of stuff. Like, it's not cool to expect it. It's just great that is what she wants to provide to our relationship and that I'm able to have that fulfilled.
Do you feel like relationship dynamics, regardless of genders, need to have clear roles within the dynamic in order for it to be a successful relationship?
I was about to say 100%, but it's not 100% what I mean. There just needs to be clear communication about expectation. The roles are a great way to quantify. It's a good, umbrella, but it doesn't mean all of them fall in like that, Like, the way I look at it is like Christy worked the last 2 days. So the last 2 days, I made sure the washing was done, the dishes were done, everything was folded away. I didn't do the sweeping the floor, but that's because I prioritized playing with the kids. And on the weekend, that's the expectation. Plan it out. Like, what do you want to take? I want to be the boss. If you want to be in a relationship with me, we're still going to have equity, not equality. Again, equity. You don't want equality, you want equity, because then everybody gets the tools they need to get to the same race. Equality, your starting base might be a lot different. Everybody gets 2 steps, but you might be starting on step 0 and someone else is starting on step 3. They're just going to get higher. You want equity. Here, you have 2 steps and you have 5. Equity. I know that in my relationship, my wife is going to need more emotional support more often and consistently than I am because I just don't need it as much. And I also do not want it. Like, I don't want you to fucking pay attention to me any more than you do. I hate it when she notices things and pulls me up and I'm like, fuck off.
Let me be here.
Yeah, just fuck off. Don't pay attention to me.
I was trying to snort this whole bag of Maltesers without you noticing.
Yeah, fuck off. Stop paying attention to me. I want to be able to talk about things when I want to be able to talk about things. So she's paying attention to ask questions. I'll talk about it.
That's a very masculine trait.
Is it?
100%. First of all, having the EQ to be able to have difficult conversation isn't necessarily a masculine trait. But being like taking that step back and processing it first and then coming back with the value adding part of it, definitely. It's interesting because I sit somewhere in the middle, and perhaps it is because I sit in both dynamics a lot of the time, and in my work I'm obviously very masculine as a space holder.
Yeah.
But in relationships, I'm the one in my relationship that needs more emotional support. But I also try to come into spaces from a place of action rather than reaction as much as I can too. But, you know,
are you the boss?
But I'm not the boss.
The boss. Do you want to be the boss?
I sometimes just want to pretend that I'm the boss.
You want to pretend, okay. All right, just play make believe. Got it. Yeah.
It took me a couple of painful experiences in order to get there. Come all the way back round to traditional gender roles that I fought for some reason.
I did too, but for the opposite reason.
Which is
You're like, I
bizarre.
just want to be told what to do. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to tell someone what to do.
And-
But we're not supposed to feel like that because
And
we're women.
And I realised that
Sort of.
actually my nervous system loves having a safe space to land.
Yeah.
Because I hold a lot and I feel a lot.
Nah, not for me. I want Christy to be beside me while I fight my battle. I don't want her. I don't.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
because you.
We
get
lady.
You want to fall into someone when you need a break from fighting your battle. That's what I see in the description. You're like, okay, good. I feel better, and run off with your life. As in, like a safe space.
I don't want to be fixed, and I don't want anybody to
No,
fight the
no,
battle
he's
for
just
me.
your cushion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pat me
so-
and tell me I'm pretty.
Yeah.
While I figure this
You're just
out.
like, oh.
Yeah. And then,
And then you can go run away and do your thing.
Yeah.
Don't want that. Like, if I'm having a tough time, I want Krista to be like, you fucking got this. You can get it done. Like, if I'm on the ground, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I want it to be like, you got this. Get your fucking ass up. You're better than this. And I'm like, okay. And then I can go, like, do my thing. I don't want that. Like to me, that makes me feel more seen
Yeah.
than poor. Or
I think I understand.
Cuddled.
Yeah, I think I understand in terms of you feel seen because she's validating the strength that's in you.
Correct.
To be able to do the things that need to get done, even when
100%.
it feels hard.
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I hate it when she gets righteously angry as well. Like, I really have a problem when she gets righteously angry on my behalf.
Yeah, okay.
I hate it.
You're like, I've got me.
I've fucking got me.
Yeah. Listen, back in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Make me a fucking sandwich. Oh God, we're gonna get cancelled on our second episode.
yes.
No, and that's what makes these conversations super difficult, right? Because you feel so much pressure, like we should, because we should be swinging too far the other way. We've been so conservative, for so long. We're swinging to the woke agenda. Yeah, we fucking need to, because then we'll swing back to the middle and we'll find the middle ground. Because women will be like, oh.
I think for a long time, even just two women being able to have a conversation about what we prefer is a big deal.
Is it?
Are we allowed to even have an idea of what we would prefer and what we do like and what we do want?
Oh,
in
not
a
as women.
relationship?
They shouldn't have.
Right?
Shouldn't be going to getting
So-
any education either, or driving, or voting. None of them.
If you ask my partner, women can't drive.
You ask my partner, this woman can't drive. So.
So you touched on not wanting equality but wanting equity within a relationship dynamic. And I think particularly when we invite dependence into the space and we come into a parenting dynamic, I know there are a lot of mothers, and not always just mothers, but there are a lot of mothers who feel unseen, unmatched.
Oh my God, so much.
And you mentioned before, if your wife's been out working, it's natural, if something needs to be, if a load of washing needs to go on, you do it. If, the dishes need to be done, if dinner needs to be prepared, you just do it because you're a team and naturally that's what needs to be done. I know that that's not always the case in other dynamics where equity isn't there. So not equality, but that equity.
Yeah, and the equity being, just to add to that, is like, I'm okay with, because I have 110, 120% energy all the time. I am okay for our relationship to be me at 120 and her to be at 80.
Yeah.
Because that's equity.
And it works.
And it works.
Everyone's at capacity.
Everyone's aligned, right? Yeah, continue.
So within my dynamic, I wear the mum and dad hat when I'm in parenting mode, and I keep that quite separate. They blend occasionally, but I keep that quite separate then to my intimate relationship dynamic where I think my nervous system is so ready to just be held and nurtured back to life that for a long time I've powered through as the solo mum and having something to prove, and yes, I can do this, and no, I don't need anybody, I don't need a man.
No, you don't. No one does. No one needs, or does not even man. No one needs someone else. It should improve your life. It shouldn't make your life.
Sorry. It adds value.
Adds value.
Or you're gone.
Or you're
gone.
Yeah.
You know, then I met a person who I had no choice. I had to just completely drop into this fluffy, feminine, strange creature that I tried so hard to avoid because I felt like she was weak or she wasn't going to be able to, you know, hold the family unit and all of those things. And then I just realised that actually this feels really lovely and really safe for maybe the first time ever. And that dynamic really works for me when I'm in a place where I am able to be vulnerable. And I think what I look for in a relationship dynamic is value. Regardless of what that looks like. You know, it could be valued because I made a really nice dinner, or it could be valued because I, you know, sent him a good morning text, and that's how I receive that as well.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of like learning love languages and things in there too, but I think as long as I feel valued and my partner feels valued, then we're on equal playing fields. But how that looks in terms of input and output varies.
Varies, yeah.
And varies based on our energy, our capacity, our emotional capacity, our schedules, so many things. But I love being cared for. From being somebody who's always, within past relationships, always been the carer and the nurturer and the emotional support person and the practical thinker. When I was married, I was in a FIFO relationship, so even then I was very, very much masculine a lot of the time because everything was on me to hold that together. And what I've learned for me is that I actually love being looked after. I love being cared for, and I love being able to hang up, you know, the reins and not be the boss sometimes.
Oh, wow. I could never think of anything worse. Yeah, could not think of anything worse. Yeah, I don't want that.
You don't have to have that.
Good, thank you, don't make me. It comes down to communication. It also comes down to knowing what you want. During this period where we're swinging and the voices are trying to be heard for equality, which should be happening, we've got to remember as well that a whole generation of women, like our parents, our mothers, there was a whole generation of women who a large portion of them didn't want to be mothers. They became mothers because it's what their parents did.
You do.
And it's what you do. And
there's boxes.
Yeah, trickled a little bit still into the next generation. I think there is still a lot of it in society today. It's not as big. But like back then, how many women, like my mum didn't want to be a mother. She said that she didn't want me and she didn't like that I ruined her career in the army, right? Didn't. You chose to have me, but that's fine. There's so many other women who were just doing it because they thought they had to. And now they've raised a bunch of children. There's a bunch of kids out there who are like, well, fuck the patriarchy. And they should. Absolutely should, because what's happened is terrible and what's still happening is still fucking terrible. There's still so much of a long way to go. And there's these little girls that kind of do want that. She was dreaming about her wedding since she was a little girl. She achieved that and it's what she wanted. She's got a husband. I don't know how he puts up with her. She got a cat and didn't tell him. Brought home a cat the other day. She's that type of wife.
I don't think you need to tell your partner that you got a cat.
I think you should. I think you absolutely fucking should.
I think cats are just, you know, an all-round yes.
Well, he called it his cat the other day, so, you know. It's her. She wanted the white picket fence. She's achieved it.
Huh?
Here's the thing. I wanted that, but I don't know if I really wanted that or if that's what I believed that I needed to achieve in order to be successful as somebody born with a vulva. You need to grow up, you need to fall in love, you need to be a Disney princess, you need to have children, blah, 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 white picket fence. And I did that very early. I sought out a partner, I married, I ticked all the boxes. I wanted to be a mum. I definitely wanted to be a mum, and I always had a natural affinity with babies and children, and even now, I'm a baby sniffer.
I'm a baby sniffer. I get so straight when I'm around babies. Love babies.
Like love. And so I knew that I always wanted to be a
They're
mum.
fresh spirits.
But I thought there was only that one road to doing that. So I did all of that. And then I was like 28 going, is this it then? Is this the rest of my fucking life?
I'm supposed to be ecstatic now. Where's the train?
Like, there has to be more.
God. She hasn't had that because she's not going to. Still got a little bit of that whole finding herself and her identity outside of it, which she talks about like openly. And she's really good at her job and she gets noticed for it. And so she's still working through like the little bits of guilt that she feels about that. She's got her babies and you know, all of that sort of stuff. Still, you know, growing, because she was like, I don't know how to deal with this. And I was like, well, who was supposed to teach you how to deal with this stuff? We gotta learn it ourselves and figure it out, all right? And she's doing that, and she's working really hard on it, and her working really hard on her marriage, and they're able to have some really tough conversations. Like, they're just doing good, if that makes it. Like, they're just doing life, trying really hard together. She won't go through that where she goes, is this it? Because it was part of her fundamental feeling fulfilled. Whereas with you, it's
when I think about it, I'm like, so that's what my mum did, and that's what her mum did. What I've learned, that baptism by fire of being in motherhood, what I've learned about me as a human being, I would not be the same person.
You wouldn't be the same person?
No.
Yeah.
Probably be a bit of a knob, to be honest. Just not aware. Definitely more aware than a lot of people. Would life have been a bit easier? Probably. But would I be the person that I am today? No. And that would be a real fucking shame. Because I'm a good human.
You are a good human. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I sit with that, is that what I wanted to be when I grew up? Or is it just that what was handed down to me? Because I did, you know, and then I'm like, well, did I get to do all of that by 28 so that I could get on to other stuff? Not better stuff, not bigger stuff, just other stuff, so that I could start making a mark and using those lessons that the babies taught me to be like, okay, I think we're onto something, people. This is how you be a good human. This is how you have difficult conversations. This is how you remember who the fuck you are. This is how you go after what you want. This is how you make a difference in the world. Always wanted to be mum, but yeah.
I also can objectively look at things. Like I said to you, I listen to other people's opinion on me because I just can't. So I know what I'm not, but in order to know what I am, I have to listen to other people.
Okay.
I'm still bridging the gap of that understanding that it's there but not believing it yet. I'm still moving. I know I have value. I said to Christy the other day, I know I have value, and I have known that I've got value for 4 or 5 years now because people have been telling me. I mean all of this in positivity. I'm not meaning in negatively. Like, I don't take on people's opinions when I know it's not true. But it's because I just, like, I can't see myself in a way that's... You might sit there and go, you did this really well. And I look at it and I'm like... Huh? Oh, okay. And I got to the point...
that was good.
All right, that's a good one. I've gotten to the point, I said to Christy the other day, I'm like, I want to understand it. I've known it's there for like the last 5 years. I haven't been in a place where I was ready to accept it. And now I think I'm in a place where I'm like, my hunger for understanding is now starting to turn its head a little bit and going,
I'm gonna need a blueprint.
I'm gonna need
a plan.
I need a spreadsheet. I need concrete evidence and data of what you're talking about.
Upload the CSV on that.
Just like, what I'm struggling with at the moment is trying to quantify what it is that I want to bring to something. Because the process that got me to the YouTube was the YouTube channel.
On the interwebs.
On the interwebs. Fuck, I just aged 75 years. I learn and I consume hundreds of hours of information on self-improvement, self-help. Like, it's my fixation. It's what I live and breathe, how the human mind works. It fascinates me.
So that's your thing. That's all you need to know, is that you give value by sharing those things that excite you about being a human.
About being a human, yeah. Well, how do I fucking make sure I can feed my family like that?
Get over the part that thinks that you can't charge for
Don't
it.
speak to me like that.
Sorry, boss.
You what, having that language with me?
Shut your mouth.
So what's who you're speaking to, young lady? Wow, that hurt.
Have you tried just getting over yourself?
Yeah. You just tried shutting the fuck up.
Nah,
not even not even a single time. Yes, I'm getting to that point.
I know the moment that you'll be able to get over that. That you look out the window while I'm speaking to you.
Oh, that was pathetic. Like, what is the point of having any existence without conversations like this? That's I genuinely don't understand the answer.
I don't have conversation. I can't do small talk.
Me either.
Like, genuinely.
Oh no, that is a bullshit lie. I taught myself how to do it, but it was for work.
Can't do it. Refuse. And I will sit there awkwardly.
No,
in silence,
I say that
not to have a surface level.
What the fuck, Ting?
I was be like,
You're just like,
How's the weather?
like, you know,
My soul is dying.
you know, I don't know if you've seen it, but like the one with the ADHD guy whose like partner is talking about apples and he just like completely zones out. That's me. Like if someone's talking shit, I'm like, every time I'm gaming, there'll be a part through it that I'll be like, and I'll just be watching it. And I'm like, I didn't listen to a fucking word they just said. Like I was not interested at all. The chat's always like, she's buffering. Because like there's no sound. Buffering. And they'll just be talking and I'll be like, I didn't listen to a word. I was so
Bored.
disinterested in that conversation.
Yeah,
Also,
it's shocking.
I can't believe I've started doing this again. When I was editing myself, I was watching myself do this, and I used to do it my whole fucking life because everything that came out of my mouth, I was too embarrassed to say and didn't think it had any value, so it became a thing that I was doing.
Ooh, a little masky mask.
Yeah, a little bit of a mask thing, so
Yeah.
it became a thing. And then I watched the video as I was editing it, and I was like, why are you doing that again, Beau? You haven't done that for fucking... Like, go look at any of my motivation ones.
Cool.
And then I've just started doing that, so I'm very conscious of it, because obviously there's a part of me somewhere that's feeling vulnerable, which is good.
Fantastic.
Which is exactly what we want. It's like my physical comfort thing to... If I've got my hand in front of my face, then I don't have to worry about... It's protecting my words from being...
Seen, heard, felt.
Yeah, and then getting in trouble for it. Like, I've known that so much, but I just haven't done it for so long. It's really weird. And I got to stop doing it, so I'm going to put my hands down here.
Sit on your hands.
No, you're right, though. That's...
Yeah.
I will. I don't...
I can't give you the date.
Oh.
I can't give you the date and the time and all of that. But
Send me an iCal.
But you'll know, because all of a sudden you'll just be like, oh, yes, people deserve to know this, but I also deserve to be rewarded for the fact that I can retain all of this information like some kind of superhuman and be so excited that I can share it in a way that is engaging, in a way that educates, in a way that brings joy and positivity and sprinkles that into the world. Because other people could sit and absorb that information and try and pass it off and try and come from a teachable space, and they're either not engaging or they're judgy, or you feel that the person listening feels ashamed or not enough. Your approach to how you share what excites you,
Brother,
Sorry, I didn't like the reaction that I just had to your something of the way that your emphasis on that one. I'm like,
your approach to how you be you, with that intention of genuinely being the good human that wants to bring out the best in other humans or wants them to see their own value. That's
it.
So
that's what I want.
I know.
Oh.
Because that's your thing. I don't see my own value, therefore I want everybody around me to see their own value.
It was that. Now it's I was never shown my own value, and so now it's moved from I don't know my own value to I was never shown. So I've made that leap. Now I need to get to I know my own value. I want everyone else to know this. That's like the next step. And it's been like the last 5 years that I've been paying attention to the little things that are putting the little bricks in place.
Yeah.
Like paying attention to it. And I don't want people around me who just tolerate me.
Add value.
Yeah.
Same.
100%.
The same thread in 1,000 different directions.
100%. Because I've had to really realise that there are relationships in my life now that aren't serving. I am done accepting friends that are embarrassed of me. Finn.
Oh, is that a friend?
I've never had friends that weren't.
what?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm a lot, and I know that. But I wasn't putting myself in the right spaces. I know that I wasn't putting myself in the right spaces because I know you don't find me a lot. George doesn't find me a lot, and
give me more.
other people for the first time are going against my mother's narrative.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, if there are people, and then I'm realising how much I fucking hate spending time with people who aren't vibration aware. And I don't know how else to explain it. I think it's to do with trauma. That's just mine. To chism off into another way. People who have trauma have different bone pathways that are drawn into their brains, which means that they can think differently. And if you haven't experienced human rights trauma of any kind, then you are incapable of thinking in the same way. If you don't have those, even those little entry ones, and I say entry, everything's of... No, you know what? I'm sick of saying that. People need to understand that there are levels of trauma. Yes, if your mum was absent, that's terrible. But if your dad sexually assaulted you, that is worse. Objectively. Objectively. And I get it. I'm not saying that it doesn't
mitigate your trauma.
It doesn't mitigate your trauma, but I also think that there needs to be a little bit more of that so that we can use that gratitude. I am so grateful that I never had my father sexually assault me, right? Perspective and that gratitude that comes from, there is always someone worse than you. There's always someone who's had it worse than you. And that's not mitigating. I refuse to take that as a mitigating thing. When someone says to it, like, it comes back to the cheerleading, right? It comes back to that way that my brain works in that way. Someone goes to me, yeah, but, you know, they had it a bit worse. My brain goes, fuck, yeah, they did. Thank fuck I didn't have to go through that.
Yeah.
Instead of going, oh, well, that means I'm not allowed to have my feelings hurt. No, I am, but thank fuck I didn't have to go through that, man. Well, that's our thoughts on gender roles.
Yeah, we've had a bit to say today.
We've had quite a bit to say today, quite a few chats. What are your thoughts on gender roles? What are your experiences? Do you feel open to talk about it with your partner? Is it something that your parents spoke openly about with you? What are your thoughts?
What do you agree with? What don't you agree with? What would you have liked to have discussed in more depth?
Oh, yeah.
What did we miss?
What did we miss? Yeah, that's actually a great idea. Like, is there anything that we missed that we can loop back to on this one? Because, yeah, there's always different opinions and different ways to look at things. Let us know in the comments. And then I guess we'll see if whatever video we do next.
Whatever the fucking... I don't know.
I don't know.
Could go anywhere.